am, by the grace of God, architect Dr. Chika Eni, a member of Eze Cabinet, Eze in Council of Ajalli. We like to call it Kingdom. And I happen to be in charge of the education section because invariably I cut my teeth in the education line, though I'm a professionally registered architect, not those who buy it by the roadside. I'm from a village in Ujari called Umueve. There are 3 of us representing this village, Umueve, though there are other 3 members from different villages in Ajalli. That's who I am, but as we go on, we may have to dilate further, if need be. Okay, I like to think that Ajalli is a unique creation by God. It is also possible, if we have to look at the historical perspective, that Ajalli as a town started from a village in Aro, known as Ujari. And we were involved, our forebears were involved in a lot of trading. One of them is the serious mercantile business of slavery, which happened around our area. Aros were not the only people involved. All the surrounding communities, they were all involved with the slavery. And because our people, Arochukwu, were very industrious and resourceful, they felt that they could bring those goods to hinterland. And in the process, they had stations, and Ajalli is one of such stations. Because they stayed longer in all these stations, they started intermarrying and they started having acculturation and stuff like that. So Ajalli is a unique place. In coming to Ajalli, some of them had porters who were helping them, admirers who were helping them, and people, for one reason or the other, joined. Like we say most of the time, we don't know how God was able to sieve that for us by bringing people who are highly blessed, talented, from different walks of life, from different parts of the Igbo land. And here we are in Ajalli of our destiny, our creation, our heritage. We love Ajalli so much that every Ajalli man is ready to die for this town. That will just tell you the level of our involvement and investment in this town. So it's a unique place where we are ahead of other communities in education, in so many things. Unfortunately, we have not been able to manage our huge successes. So from time to time, you have problems with, within us. But with the new Eze, we're happy that things are being simplified. We don't have another Amu Nwaro Amwana Weao. So whether you're from Aro or whether you're from non-Aro, you're welcome. And people, most times, they go back to their historical perspective. If you have a very bad history, it is not your fault, but you can get over the history. And we're asking everybody in Ujari to forget the past. We have been guaranteed equal opportunity, freedom of association and movement by the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria. By that Constitution, everybody is equal. So anybody who is still having problem dealing with his past is his personal problem. For Ajalli, we are moving as a group, as a united group under the watch of the new Eze. And we don't want anybody to drag us back to those dark days. We want to possibly compete with Israel, possibly compete with USA, where people can rise from nothing to be something, from zero to be hero. So that is why I am a member of the cabinet, Eze in council, and I am very supportive of the present Eze because his goals are almost like my goal. And that is where, that we are going to have a new Ajalli. Every one of us should be proud of. Okay. No, we have in the main 4 villages, but we have some sub-villages attached to these villages. We have Umueve, we have Obinikba, we have Omoabiam, we have Amago. And Amago happened to be the first village. That's where the founder of the town settled first before expanding to this area. But even there, like Obinikba, we have Omonkwa, we have Okuno. These are sub-villages attached to the main Obinikba village. It's also like that in my village. We have Opata, we have Uhuana, we have some villages. So that's ours. That's Ajalli for you.
Talking about the founder of Ajalli, can you tell us more about it?
Well, the history of Aali is not quite different from ours. Our history, more or less, started from Ujari in Aro. Of course, you know that the first Eze or king that was in that area. Devotees from the first son family was found worthy to be appointed warrant chief because he was able to use the white to quell disturbances around here. And when he was offered the warrant chief or chieftaincy, he rejected it as a prince. He couldn't have been serving Oibo. So he gave it to the servant, Okori Onenanya. And when Okori went to Oka and acquired a lot of powers and came back, he realized that he made a mistake. So he had to collect the Ezeship from him. So if you are looking at it chronologically, Okori Onenanya is not an Aro man. He was just a servant. He was the first Eze, warrant chief, followed by Anicho Oti, who was a full-blooded Aro man. He became the second Eze. But before then, when Oti died, the first son was Nwafo Donse. People ascribe him as Eze, but he never was, because his father Oti was not. Then when he died, the brother, Anicho, could have taken over, but Anicho couldn't because their father, Oti, was not. But he was lucky to be appointed the warrant chief. And he was a great man. Ajalli knew peace, knew progress within the 2 years he reigned, which was between 1916 and 1918. But he died suddenly during the Spanish flu, and there was a lacuna again. There was a political tubercle. The Ezeship, warrant chieftaincy, left Oji's family for another family, Okwareke. That's the elder brother of the founder of this town. So Okwareke, Christian Obunnaya, is the Christian Obunnaya Oji, was the third warrant chief. And when he died, the matter, the chieftaincy went to the son, Geoffrey, who is the fourth Eze, warrant chief. But then people were now kicking against the warrant chieftaincy, and people now started resorting to having local or traditional Ezes. Ajalli, like other communities, now started looking for Eze. It turned out that Nwafo was now selected and enthroned as the first traditional Eze. But there was a problem. You had a warrant chief in the other village, and you have a traditional chief here. So there was so much confusion. But we resolved that matter at the 25th or Silver Jubilee. The other man, the warrant chief, was convinced to hand over to him and we consolidated the Warren chieftaincy and the traditional chieftaincy, and Eze Nwosu became the 5th warrant chief and the 1st traditional chief. And when he died, of course, we have a succession problem here, like we have in Aro and in other places. It's not peculiar to us. There were problems about the 3 families, because when we talk about the Oti family, they are the first. They descended from the first son of Oji. So when we now had this problem, the 3 brothers or cousins decided that Eze should be rotated among them. But before then, the town as a whole, irrespective of where you come from, because Ajalli is a unique place in what we call peace return, because we had a time when the Aros confronted the non-Aros. But when peace was made, they agreed on their own free volition to give the Ezeship to the 3 families. All we needed to do at the death of Nwosu was to go to court, formalize it in what we call consensus judgment. And it favored the son of the Eze, Callistus Nwosu, who became the 5th Eze. Then when he died, of course, problems started all over again. But we have the Bible of our association, the consensus judgment, which assigned the next Eze to Umoji. And that's how the present Eze was selected and appointed. We had some problems initially, but eventually the town and everybody agreed that it's in order. And that's why he's the Eze Ujari, the 7th. That's Warrant Eze, the 7th, but the 3rd traditional Eze. And because we commenced this rotation now among the 3 families as given by the whole town, we call him Eze Ohazuru Me, the 1. So you may be thinking, where's this Eze Ohazuru Me from? He's the Eze Ohazuru Me 1. So this is more or less our short history. Ajalli is a very young town. We are now up to 300 years. By my calculation, we should be about 250 years. So it's easy to remember these things. A problem we have here is that a lot of persons, they don't have this history. And they interpret it from hearsay and other things. That was what moved me to document our experience in that book, which I gave to you. And we're encouraging our people to read it. Nobody knows it all. Nobody's all-knowing. Where there are gaps, we fill them in the next edition. And we even like people from Aro to also find out, go through it and find out whether what we're saying is in consonance with the truth. That's where you come in. The Eze is interested in openness, in facing facts, and removing noise in our history, in our association, in everything that concerns us. That is it.
Thank you so much, Doc. Now, talking about the book you wrote, can you hint us a bit about this your book?
This book initially was not supposed to be written. It's just that I took interest in the history of my people. And I was lucky to have a grandmother who lived for 107 years. I just said now that Ajalli is about 250, and this woman lived for 107 years. She met some of these characters, so she continued to tell me these stories. It was for personal consumption. But when I found out that we have a lot of problems in this town, some of it emanated from ignorance of our history, I said, why don't I place this thing in the public domain so that people can hear my story and maybe learn lessons from it. But basically, It was like a format for development of this town, which I'm happy Eze and even the PG, they've started implementing. If you go towards the tail end, you will see committees to handle this, handle that. But I knew that if I wrote a book like that, it might not really work very well if people don't understand where we're coming from. So it is like it's dual, binary. One has to do with our history, where we're coming from. The other one is forward-looking, how we're going to make here a better place. And like I told you, Eze is insistent that Ajalli must be much, much better than we met it.